And breaking news right now, streaming live on CBS News Los Angeles. We are tracking multiple fires in hot, dry conditions tonight, including this fire here that we're monitoring right now, breaking out in the Antelope Valley. SkyCal is live over the so-called Max fire. This is on the western end of Lancaster.
That fire burning through dry grass. You can see zoomed in right now, firefighters battling those flames. It's already destroyed a barn and an RV. It is coming close to homes. You can't quite see that in the zoomed in shot, but as we zoom out a little bit, notice the neighborhood of homes off to the top of your screen there. It gives you a better picture of just how close to this two homes and neighborhoods that this fire is burning. Right now, we're being told that we have Craig Little on the line. That is LA County Fire PIO. Craig, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Great. So I know, thank you first off for your time for joining us. What can you tell us so far about this fire and what you're learning at this hour?
Are you talking about the fire that I'm on currently?
The Lancaster fire. Is that the one you're on?
No.
Okay.
I'm still here out at the post fire. I can give you limited information on what I have right now. Units were dispatched probably around 3:30 in the afternoon to a wildland fire. Currently, all I have is 500 to 600 acres with the potential to go to about 1,000 acres at this point.
Wow, and I'm guessing the containment still sits probably at 0 since it's so early on. Do you have any idea how many structures may have gone up in flames? We're looking at what looks like possibly outhouses here, maybe like a big ranch-style home. Any word on what has already burned?
I don't have any specific information on that right now. I need to get in contact with some other public information officers on that because I'm kind of tied up with the one right here.
Well,
go ahead, one more time.
I was going to say, speaking of the one that you're on right now, we're going to maintain some, right now for viewers at home, you're seeing footage from earlier of the fire in the Lancaster area, but because you are monitoring right now the post fire, and that's not terribly far from Lancaster either, we want to go ahead and start looping you into what you can tell us the latest is with regards to that fire, because we know you have limited information with regards to the one in Lancaster right now. So what can you tell us about the post fire at the moment?
Yeah, currently we're still holding at about 12,000 acres, 12,200 acres. We have about 2% containment, the last that I heard. And we are expecting a pickup in the wind situation within the next hour or two.
Craig, you know, we are monitoring this fire here in Lancaster, obviously monitoring the post fire. I was driving down the 101. There was a quick brush fire that broke out near the Hollywood Hills. Just how busy are fire crews right now and the conditions out there?
We are very busy. You know, one fire is committed with aircraft, and we may not be able to spare them for another. It just depends. We're trying to juggle as many resources as we can at this time. This other fire in Lancaster, I hear, is growing. But yeah, it's an interesting situation that we have going on right now. I wish I could give you more on the Lancaster situation.
No, and you're talking about resources here, especially aerial resources. We're seeing helicopters in this area dropping, making water drops here. But how limited are we in our air resources right now? We know those are crucial to a lot of these firefights.
I can't quantify that for you. We have a pretty large fire going on right now here with the post fire, and we'd like to keep all of the resources that we can. However, we don't want to have that at the expense of another fire as far as that goes. So we're trying to determine the best way to allocate resources at this point.
With regards to the post fire right now, Craig, you mentioned how large it's getting. It's over 12,000 acres right now. The containment is still low given at this point yesterday when we first talked to you. But something we noticed in our reporting all through last evening, and I'm curious to see if it's something that's on your radar today, was our Lori Perez was mentioning that on and off ramps into Gorman were closed off before then being reopened. With regards to traffic and any sort of commuting in that area, is that something that people should be keeping an eye on in terms of, actually don't get anywhere near those on and off ramps right now?
Yeah, the on and off ramps are a concern. as to my knowledge, the 5 freeways are open. I had some citizens tell me that it's pretty congested, but they are still open. I can't give you the exact on and off ramps that are closed at this point, and we'll probably have more information for you at a later time.
Craig, I know you don't have much information here on this Lancaster fire, but we just saw sheriff's deputies pull up to a rather large neighborhood that sits just on the other side of this ranch-style home where it looks like the fire may have started or at least engulfed a barn here. Any idea, have you gotten any word at all since we've been talking about evacuations in the Lancaster area?
No, I'm going to have to check. As soon as I get off of the phone with you, I'm going to have to check in on that.
Okay.
I can probably give you more information.
The other thing we're noticing here, Craig, too, and I imagine that this is as big of a concern as well with both of these fires, is the smoke, the air quality. You mentioned the winds picking up. What's sort of the game plan or what you're assessing when it comes to weather as you get into the later parts of this evening into tomorrow as well? Because we know that this is not a firefight that's going to end tonight or tomorrow, but what are you seeing from your vantage point in terms of how the weather is going to affect things moving forward?
We are predicting some wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour as of right now. That would not be steady winds, but they would be gusts that would be that high. So anywhere from 25 to 60 mile per hour throughout the evening.
Yeah, and you know, going into this weekend, we were talking about the low humidity, the high temperatures, the wind risk, and the risk of these wildfires breaking out. And not only do we have the Post fire, the Lancaster fire, as well as the fire in Hollywood Hills. A reminder to people, Craig, that may be watching tonight, as we do have resources already spread out across Southern California. Just a reminder of what they need to be doing just to make sure that something doesn't spark in their area or doesn't get to their home?
Well, essentially, we encourage all homeowners to create a defensible space, and that's a certain amount of brush clearance around their homes. It allows us to get in between the fire and their home. And as far as evacuations are concerned, we strongly suggest everybody who happens to feel like they might be in an area that's in danger to set up a to-go bag that has their most important items like medicines, documents, pet foods, pets, and just be ready to go at a moment's notice on this.
Yeah, because, you know, before we used to have a fire season, now it's year round, but this seems like the first true major wildfires and fires we're seeing break out this year, really. Yeah,
this is a pretty early ignition at this point.
And something else, Craig, I imagine also that the answer is not exactly clear right now, given how early we are in this firefight. But with regards to either the Post fire or the Max fire in this case, it doesn't seem like a cause has yet been determined. Now, we all know that given this time of the year, given how dry it starts getting, it could honestly be anything, going back to your point about how important it is to have that defensible space and remove anything that could spark at a moment's notice, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's critical right now. We're going through our fire safety inspections and our brush inspections right now. A lot of homeowners may seem to be a little off-put by that. Hopefully, the footage that you're showing right now will put some kind of an impetus for people to get that done.
Yeah, truly. And what we're looking at right now, Craig, is we're looking at both images from the Post fire earlier today and yesterday. And then on the right side, you're looking at the Max fire in Lancaster. And you saw that barn, that rather large barn that looks like it's out on a ranch property here on the west side of the city, burning up in flames. We know dry brush around this area has also burned. So far, even though we see this rather large community, Gio, we're not seeing it being impacted heavily, aside from firefighters there running hose through some of those backyards, and of course all the smoke in the area. You can imagine, you can see looks like firefighters are running to their truck here, and possibly a resident there. You wonder, you know, if they're helping or at least being alerted by those firefighters, hey, you might want to start
Yeah,
evacuating.
unfortunately, I can't see what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And as we're speaking right now, my phone is absolutely blowing up right now.
Okay.
It probably has something to do with the Lancaster fire, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to go.
Nope.
Totally understandable. And
Feel free to call me back.
Thank you so
Will do.
much for your time. We know you are on the ground there.
we appreciate it. And with
No
that,
problem.
Craig, we'll check back in with you later on. We also